Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Sorry, my mic wasn't working for a second.
Okay.
Okay, so how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm chilling. Haven't been having a pretty good couple days. So
Dang.
nice. All right. So what is the topic of today's lesson?
I think Falco.
Okay.
Um, um, I don't know. I just want something to like think about when I
Okay.
play. I just like sort of run out of things to like think about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I've seen a lot of what you say about like not wanting to approach or not wanting to just like attack the opponent just outright.
Mm-hmm.
And like trying to fake out the opponent. Um, I know that applies a lot to this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know if there because I think you said that like this matchup's a little too complicated for there to be like a general for there to be like a really like straightforward game plan.
Yeah. So are you looking for some help with like making a game plan in the matchup, like in general, or
Yeah,
okay?
because I really don't have one.
Okay. All right. That's a good starting point then. Okay. So let's get this started. Let's see.
Oh shit, here we
Oh, my bad. Did not screen share.
are. I was like, wait.
Okay, is it working?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Get caught out of your double jump, it looks like.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, it wasn't a bad dash dance. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
So, a few things to mention. If you are building a game plan for any matchup, the first thing you should always start with, it doesn't matter which matchup, is punish game. And not
Hmm.
necessarily, perfecting the punish game, but you have to
Yeah.
at least know which punishes you want. And so
Hmm.
when you know which punishes you want, you know what openings to go for, and you also know what openings your opponent is going to try to avoid.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see, how do I go back? How about this? Okay. So I noticed a lot of these sort of like weird nairs that you're doing, and it's definitely kind of like a, well, I don't really know what to do, so nair should be all
Yeah.
right. And so, okay, so what are your biggest combo openers on Falco? Like just like not yours maybe particularly, but like what do you think are the
Yeah,
best
the
combo
strongest.
openers? Yeah.
Grab and shine and drill.
Okay. And drill is mostly because it leads into drill and shine. You also have up tilt.
Oh yeah, up to.
Up tilt is really, really good, and falling up air is not bad. So those are kind of like the basics. But then at the same time, Nair is really good in neutral because, you know, it's fast, it has a really good range, and stuff like that. So you don't really want to do back air too much in neutral, which is good. You don't really seem to have that habit. A lot of foxes will just kind of sit there and they'll just full hop back air over and over until they lose to Falco. And that is not... It might work against Dr. Mario, but not against Falco.
Yeah.
So, you also have to think about in the position, or sorry, in the matchup, what your opponent's best openings are. So your opponent really wants a shine, you know?
Really wants a shine.
Like, he really wants it. Like, he would do anything for a shine.
Yeah.
Horrible things. So, even if he lands like a dare or a nair or anything, none of that really matters unless he can get a shine out of it.
Yeah.
So you know that Falco is for sure trying to get really close to you and then shine you. And so everything that he does, you have to pay a lot of attention to what your opponent does, is he's going to be trying to get that. So he's just sort of like, okay, so like the match opens and your opponent is just, he shoots a laser, you hit him with this, he's like, oh, Fox is close to me, I'm going to spam aerials and hope that one hits and then I get lucky and get a shine. Obviously not a great strat, but it's really common for Falco to do that. So what you ended up doing here is you did a full hop up air, but the issue with this is that it's so... I think actually the reason why you got hit is up air actually lowers your body a little bit, and you might have gotten hit by this here. But that's not as much the point. Like, you're not usually going to be able to catch someone with an up air in a situation like that. It's a lot better to usually go for like a full hop drill. Like, I think that, like, basically the first starting point in this matchup, and it's definitely like a starting point, you know, it's not a finishing point by any sense, is full hop drill. And that's because usually it's like a nice intuitive way to get into a matchup is just find whatever the other character complains about the most and then just do that. So, like, Falcos love to complain about Fox full hop drilling. They love to complain about Fox, you know, shine gimping them. So those are some nice things to start with. But, like, the shine gimping, that's kind of just more of, like, an edge guard or, like, in the corner thing. And so the full hop drill is a really good spot to start. And, like, if you had, for instance, done it in this spot, not saying it's going to work in every spot, this would for sure work here, and you would get the opening. So full hop drill is, like, a nice, like... Okay, Falco, I have full hop drill, and I'm going to use it. And now you have to figure out what you're going to do about it. And so Falco will at least, when you full hop, he has to start either shielding, like rolling, or like dash spacing around it, because you're threatening the drill on him. So that's just, to get it out there, that's like the first starting point. We'll go through a bunch more.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay. So then you have this Nair, and this isn't... Yo, lowercase hero, thank you for the sub. Okay, so... So it looks like you thought he was going to laser here, and you went for the Nair. And then he did like a little bit of like a delayed laser. I think that's okay. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that game plan to do the Nair here. I do think you have to be... Like, don't be like conservative with your nairs. Like when you're gonna nair, like if you are gonna try to nair Falco out of a laser, you want your nair to basically hit him like as early in the nair as possible. Yeah. And so definitely, like if you see Falco right here, you don't want to be doing a nair at... Let me show you. You don't want to be doing a nair at this range because you're going to be like, it's a lot easier to miss. You want to be running right up to him and then nairing. And so nairing Falco out of a laser is a really good, also good starting point. And so you should at least, like if you were only using those two tools, you know, right here, you could have gotten a full hop drill right here. Right here. You see him getting close to you and you're like, what if I just full hop drill, you know? And a lot of times, like, basically... If somebody doesn't have to respect the full hop drill, they will not play the matchup right, and like you're not even gonna be able to get to the rest of the matchup because the Falcos will be doing weird stuff like this where they do short, like he did like short hop, empty land, up tilt, like that. But if you're doing full hop drills, this will never work, and so they don't get away with this. They have to actually play the matchup right. Okay, good up tilt. And I would recommend completely getting rid of these. The issue with these is that sometimes the Falco will do a laser in place, and the full hop nair will hit him. And I used to do these all the time because it feels nice. You're like, man, sometimes I just throw it out, and the Falco lasers right into it, and I get a big opening. But ultimately, this isn't consistent, and I would say that especially while you're learning the matchup, but I pretty much, even at top level, like, I would say, like, basically never use this full hop nair on Falco. It doesn't have a lot of... Like, it's something that Falco can react to, and it doesn't really get you a lot guaranteed, stuff like that. Like, I would say, if you're in a situation and you feel kind of uncomfortable, and you get that, like, little nairy feeling in the back of your head, like this, I would say just try to dash more, and try to, like, close the space, and look for one of those, like, closer up short hop nair type of things.
Yeah. Would a closer full hop nair be also good?
Not really, honestly.
Not really?
Because, like, if you're gonna full hop nair and you just have this certainty that the full hop nair is gonna hit, why not full hop up air? Because that would give you, I'm not saying, hey man, go out there and keep full hop up air. Full hop up air is pretty good, but the full hop approaching up air is not great. It's basically the same, like, kind of hope based play as the full hop nair, where it's like it's not really good, but sometimes it works. You don't really want to be jumping like across the stage with a full hop at Falco. When you full hop, you want to be sort of close to Falco so that you have these options of, like, which side are you going to land on, and you're kind of, like, drifting above him, and he doesn't really know exactly where you're going to land. Those are, like, way more effective against Falco and against pretty much every character. Full hopping at your opponent and nairing is not very good.
Okay, yeah, I was asking about the close full hop.
Well, the thing that, if you, like, and like I said, if you're doing a full hop nair here, like, your goal is for Falco to, like, jump and laser, right? And get hit by the nair. But the up air would hit him in that exact same situation, and it'll actually start a combo.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that happens sometimes. It's fine. And yeah, stuff like this, it's not like a huge deal that you have some stuff like this. Like, this is just kind of like a wasted action, because it's not towards the, the game plan of trying to do these things that'll get you a hit against Falco. So I would, like, you want to, like, that's why it's so important to have a game plan, right? And, like, that's why you're here looking for one, is because if you don't, you end up doing, like, a full hop back air like that, because you're like, well, maybe it's good. But then, it's not good. So once you can get a game plan for it, try to avoid, doing stuff like that. Because we'll know what we're going for.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I would recommend practicing the up throw up air tech chase, like, a lot.
Okay.
That is, like, if you can do that, so much of this matchup just falls into place. Because if you're missing your follow ups on off of up throw, it just feels like you can't combo Falco at all. And that's, like, a really common problem for Foxes, is, like, they feel like they can only combo Falco if they maybe, like, an up tilt or something. So if you get really consistent at, I think KJH, there's, like, an archive of KJH, he has a video about it that's, like, pretty useful. I can link you to it later if you want.
Yeah,
but
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, but it's a pretty useful video, and full hop up air is just really, really good to practice in general. It's like your bread and butter in this matchup.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, so this is like okay, so here's an example of, you could have nair, like, or sorry, you're doing the nair here, but there's not really, like, a reason to be doing this nair. Falco is obviously, not super close by. So, like, doing this Nair, if he lasers, maybe you'll get this. But it's not like a good gamble to be taking. So if Falco is in a situation like this, a lot of times you can't really directly contest it. And it's more about waiting, like dash dancing and waiting for his landing. And, maybe you can catch his landing with like an up smash trade or, a dash dance grab, or just waiting until he lands and being right next to him in neutral. And then you can get like a Nair out when he tries to laser or something like that. So Falco is really slow. Excuse me, sorry, one sec. Falco is a pretty slow character, especially compared to Fox. Like, in terms of grounded movement, super slow. And so the rule with slow characters, and pretty much this is true like across the board, if you are the slower character in the matchup, you typically have to wall more. Because if you're the faster character and your opponent tries to attack you, you just move backwards. And if you're faster, no matter how much your opponent moves forward, they're not going to be able to catch you. And so that's why, like, when Falco does, like, a down air in, Fox doesn't normally try to beat it with his own move. He'll move back and get out of the way and then come back in and punish. So Falco is the opposite, where if Fox is running at you and he's going to nair you or whatever, you don't actually have the option to move away. And that's, like, a very important distinction. Yeah. So, because Falco can't move away, he only has a couple options to deal with you approaching. He can, depending on the context, he can up tilt, he can, maybe down air in place, or he can roll, or he can laser. And, if every time you get near your opponent they roll, that's kind of like a separate problem that I don't think you would really have a problem dealing with, because they're not actually threatening you. So, if we focus on aerial in place and up tilt and laser, those are like the three main options you have to worry about. And up tilt and down air are not exactly the same, but like more or less like there's a hitbox that comes out and then you have an opportunity. And with the laser, it's the opposite, where you have an opportunity and then the hitbox comes out. So the way to beat the laser is you need to attack into it before the laser comes out. And so a lot of times you'll be dashing around and Falco will try to get a laser out. But if you have an idea that he's going to try to get a laser out at that moment, especially if it's like an approaching laser, you can just toss out a Nair or a dash JC Shine, and you have a really good chance of hitting him. So, and I have a whole lesson with Billy Bo Peep about this, if you want more about that specific interaction of like, so the idea is when you're a decent amount of space away from Falco, like maybe like this Pokeball or more, you never want to shield lasers. Because the problem is that if you shield a laser from far enough away, Falco knows that you can't dash immediately. And if you can't dash immediately, your threats of beating his laser are now gone. And so if you shield his laser from far away, he'll be able to close the space and control the space with his lasers a lot better. And so when you're far away, you want to take laser. When you're in close, you can take laser or you can shield laser. Those both work. But because, if you shield a laser right in front of him, you could still, shine out a shield or drill out a shield or whatever, and you'd still have a good chance of hitting the guy. And so your goal a lot of times is you don't want to let him get like too much control with lasers, and that's why you don't shield back here. And then your goal in general in the Falco matchup is you want to play at this range. And there's this special range you want to play at where basically if he tries to just randomly drill in at you or dash attack you, you avoid it. And that seems pretty straightforward. I have a feeling you probably already mostly do that, because that's sort of like the first lesson people learn against Falco is like they're going to laser me and they're going to jump in down air and I just have to move back and out of the way and grab it.
Yeah.
And so you pretty much want to just... That stays true forever in the sense, like, the good Falcos won't throw out laser down air quite as often and get grabbed. but they'll still do it. And the goal is to generally avoid that range. And so you want to be kind of just right on the outskirts of that range all the time when you're playing neutral. And then, so then, that position is close enough to Falco that if he tries to do a laser, he is threatened. And so that's kind of your goal. You want it to feel like any decision Falco makes is potentially dangerous for him. Yeah. And you can only do that when you're sort of up close. But you don't want to be too close, or else you're in just as much danger as the Falco. And so that's what your speed is good for, is staying just outside of his range. You know, I like to think of it as like, you know, if you have like, you know, like a little dog and a big dog, the little dog will just kind of, you know, dance around the range of the big dog, and they'll be like picking at them and like, burr, burr. And like, you kind of want to use your advantage. Like, if you don't have the advantage in size and strength, which Fox doesn't really against Falco, Falco's like has better moves overall. You have the speed, and so you want to just kind of like pick at him from like a distance in terms of neutral, and you want it to feel like none of his moves will really hit you if he just throws them out, and he's constantly threatened by you attacking in. And so if he throws out a laser, there's a chance that out of your neutral you'll do like a running shine, or a up smash, or a nair, and so that always needs to be a threat. And so, you know, and if the Falco, and so obviously there's like reads in here somewhere, but if the Falco isn't throwing out any lasers or whatever, then, you know, you can just continue hanging out at this range forever. And when the Falco kind of shows their hand that they're going to start doing these lasers, you have the ability to start pressuring in. And so, and like, let's say you just decide, I'm just going to go in no matter what, here I come, Falco. And he doesn't necessarily have time to do a laser. A lot of times he'll do the down air in place or the up tilt, which is like the quick option. But the downside of both of those options, especially the up tilt, let's go over the up tilt first because it's a little weaker. With the up tilt, you can just do a dash in, dash back, and then dash in grab or up smash. And this works with auto cancel back air too. Sometimes they do that. The back air or the up tilt, it's very easy to just, while you're staying in this range, you're looking for a laser, but then they do this option, you go, oh, okay, and you just go in, and it's a difficult reaction, and you have to predict it a little bit sometimes. But a lot of times, if you see it, and you're ready for them to throw out an option, and especially if they were just facing backwards a second ago, you can get these, like, up smashes or dash dance grabs or whatever. So, their only remaining option to sort of wall you out is their down air in place. And they can't... The thing with the down air in place is, as a Fox, you can't really get in on it. Like, it's pretty good defensively. Falco can mix up the drift. He can mix up the fast fall. This is, like, by far Falco's best defensive option in the matchup, because his short hop is a little higher than Fox's. So if you short hop nair and he short hop down airs, then, you know, the down air will hit the nair from above, and he'll win the situation. So the down air is a little tricky, but you can go in immediately after the down air with pressure. And so something a lot of people who are good, like the good Foxes, they'll dash dance, and I'll do like a drill in place, and they'll literally just run in afterward and grab me. And the reason for that is that it's not that it's frame tight that they're getting this grab, but it's because when I land, there's this huge threat of you just running in and either shining or drilling. Like, just drill shining, like, immediately on me, or nair pressuring my shield, or, you know, full hopping over my shield. There's all these pressure options that you can get out kind of, like, right as the down air ends. And I think that's sort of the direction you want to go more. And most Falcos are really bad at walling the down air, so you'll actually find openings to be able to get in on it. And so, if you're playing correctly, this is the entire aggressive portion of the neutral game against Falco. And that just kind of repeats over and over, and you're trying to do your best to get into that range to basically punish his lasers. And if he doesn't use lasers, you don't ever really have to go in, and you can just kind of pressure more and look for opportunities, and then when he eventually lasers, you can hit him. And you don't have to just strictly stay like here forever if he's not lasering. You can just go for more defensive options, because if he's not going to go for his walling defensive options, he's just going to get hit. So basically, this is like another instance with the full hop drill of like, you need to do things that, like, basically, if you don't really know what you're doing, your opponent can be doing anything. You have no idea. There's no way to narrow down their options enough to be able to like play a real matchup. So what you do is you find options that are really strong and they require a certain type of response from your opponent. And that's what you want in every matchup. You want to say like, what do I have that requires a specific response from my opponent to beat it? Because when you have that, then even the threat of doing that action will require a response from your opponent. And so you want things that require certain responses, because then you can sort of box your opponent into saying like, okay, you have all these decisions, you can do all of these different things that you want, but if you aren't doing these options to cover and defend against my stuff, you're literally just going to lose, and I'm going to not even pay attention to what you're doing, and you're going to lose. So, okay, so yeah, we can move on to the second video here, but that's sort of like the general idea. I don't know how much is this sort of making sense or getting through, or do you feel like it's a good direction?
It's a good, yeah, I feel like it's like fitting a lot of pieces together of like, okay, there's like an offensive portion, there's a good defensive portion, Fox is faster.
Okay. And the up throw up airs on the platform, those are really big.
Yeah.
Way bigger than you might, like it's Fox's basically only combo on Falco.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so look at what Falco's doing. So, the match starts, and you're on a bit of a small stage, so Falco is already doing his defensive options. He does this up tilt, he does a dash back laser, he tries to, but Fountain is stupid, so he tries to dash back laser you, which is like another defensive option that he has. It's a defensive option, so dash back laser basically beats you sort of trying to like wait him out over here. And so... But it doesn't actually really get Falco anything, so it's not a huge deal, and it'll still lose to you, like, approaching. So look, so he does this. This is this drill that he does in place. He's trying to defend against what you're doing. Then he does a laser. He's also trying to defend. And then he's doing another drill in place. So during this whole sequence, you're kind of playing vertically and sort of jumping in on him right here. But this isn't actually, like, what threatens these options. What threatens these options is you pressuring on the ground here and getting ready for either a short hop aerial or a grab. Or an up smash. And yeah, I know I mentioned, like, the full hop drill stuff, but the full hop drill is the way you keep Falco honest about him just sort of getting under you and around you and throwing out moves. But this is sort of getting into more like, Falco's trying to defend against you. So that's where those are different.
Yeah. My approaches should look like a lot of dash dancing. Like
dash dance, a lot of short hop drill, short hop nair are both really good. And the thing is, people talk about how good
deep into Falco, right?
Yeah, like right on him. So okay, so let's just take this situation for instance. Like let's say right here, this happens.
Is it wrong for me to say that that's kind of like what you do against Marth?
Oh, where you're trying to hit him, like he's mixing up late or early fair, basically.
Yeah, and maybe an up tilt or up till it gets grabbed.
It is kind of similar in that respect. I think it's totally okay to think of it like that, yeah.
Because that's sort of what I figured out is okay, there's obviously a part where I'm attacking, there's a part where Marth is trying to intrude on me. And I have things to keep Marth really honest about his approaches.
And make it so that when he swings, it's a potentially deadly commitment. Because you might... Exactly. So that is exactly the mindset you want to take while approaching Falco. So,
yeah. Because they both have, strong... Still have strong,
Yeah,
potentially winning.
they have really strong options, but like potentially vulnerable options if you get in at the right timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, good comparison. Okay, so right here, oh, it wasn't this one. Oh, maybe it was. Okay, well, never mind. We'll wait for the next one. I think you were in more lag than I thought. This was a fine nair. I think you were just a little slow. You didn't fast fall it, but that happens. I think the most important thing in this matchup, and I've told this to a lot of people, it's just the most important thing to keep in mind, like, all the time, is, like, you want the initiative, or, like, activity, or whatever you want to call it. You want your opponent to be dealing with your... Like, you want to be, you know, giving them math problems to solve, and they have to solve them, or they lose. You don't want to be the guy on the receiving end of, like, the problems, basically.
Yeah.
And it's not really true in every matchup. Some matchups, it is more okay to do that. But specifically in this matchup, you always want to be like, hey, Falco, I'm about to hit you. I'm a cheesy Fox main. Look at me go. Like, dash, dash, shine, shine. And the Falco's like, oh, here he comes. And he has to deal with that. You always want to be in that position. You don't ever want to be in the position where Falco's like, you know, listening to rap music, and he's just like, yeah, I laser, and I hit him, and I just go in, and, like, the Fox just has to deal with me, because I'm so cool. You know, you don't want that. Falco becomes too strong when that happens, and, like, every Falco main is going to be doing that. They're all going to be listening to this music that pumps them up, and so that they can just go for attacks and just pure confidence their way through you. But you want to be like, actually, like, while you were trying to be confident and cool, like, I already hit you. And then they have to be like, oh no, here he comes, he's even crazier than me. And then there you go. That's what you want every time. Even if you're not actively hitting Falco, you need to be, like, feeling very threatening.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing better than playing Falco, and my opponent is kind of dash dancing, and they're like, I don't know, like... Maybe Falco will give me an opening if I just kind of wait. Like that's just like, oof, like that's too nice. You don't want to you don't want to be nice. It's okay to move around on the platforms and be a little bit annoying and not let him hit you. Sometimes, like, that is okay. But whenever you're, like, actually interacting, like, cuz both of these characters can kind of, like, not interact. Like, Falco can full hop up here, and Fox can be full hopping around. And, like, when you
talk about this, the cycle of non-interaction.
yeah, where it's like, aha, you can't get me, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll wait down here, and he's like, okay, I'm coming down, fight me. And then this guy's like, all right, you're coming down, all right, fight me, finally, you're coming down. And then he comes down, and he goes, all right, I'm up here, I'm chilling now. And that just repeats forever. And so that part of the matchup is sort of like this totally separate part of the matchup. That's kind of like the uninteractive half of the matchup, or part of the matchup. And then, like, I'm only talking here about the interactive part of the matchup. So when you're interacting, you want to be threatening as much as possible.
Yeah.
See, okay, yeah, that was a good dash attack. Not necessarily a good move choice to do the dash attack. Like, a nair would have been better here. Yeah. But this idea of, like, so you're instant
in place. It's like,
yeah. So the idea
you're playing
of, like,
that mix up.
You're kind of right here, and you do this up tilt, and you see Falco jump, and you were kind of like, well, he's not going to be doing an aerial. You know, he was just in shield. He's not dashing. He's going to be doing some sort of jump here. It's not an aerial because he wouldn't hit me, so it's got to be a laser. And then you just go in and hit him for it, and it's like, that's really good. That's, like, a big part of what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And then... So then there's these sort of interactions, and you went for this grab. You just slightly mistimed this. This was, like, not bad at all, actually.
Yeah, that's...
You really don't want to play this type of game against Falco. Like, if you... For some reason, this is, like, the most common issue that I've run across recently with, like, students. Is people do this specific movement, and this isn't even like a Fox Falco thing, this is just in general. They'll do a full hop, and then they for whatever reason decide it's a bad idea to, you know, fall with the aerial, which is totally fine. You can do this as many times as you want in relative safety. Then they double jump, so they're going so they go, okay, I'm full hop aerialing. Just kidding. I'm not actually going to commit to it. I'm going to leave and go to the platform, and that's totally fine. But then they do this where they go, but what if? Imagine how tricky it would be if I, instead of remaining on the platform, fast fell through and did the aerial anyway. And it's just like, this is the worst idea ever, because the whole reason this full hop is so good, the whole reason this is good, is because you can get out of it with a double jump if you don't like it. That's the only reason this full hop is good. And so, this isn't even you, dude. Literally, like, almost every student I have does this exact thing where they double jump and then they fast fall through and do an aerial. But the problem is, you can't double jump anymore. So you don't have the ability to abort the situation anymore. You're forced to stay committed to it. And so just do not do this. If you're going to double jump away from the full hop, that's fine. Just waveland away on the platform and go back to the ground. Just don't do this. It just must work so much at a certain level of play, because literally everybody does it. I have to mention this every lesson, and I'm not upset. I'm just like, dude, like how? Like every lesson, every lesson, I'm watching VODs
like
of people full hop
all
double
across
jump.
the board.
Yeah, like literally, like Foxes, Falcos, it doesn't matter. Like everybody, just the Falcos, they do it too. They do like short hop. And they do double jump to plat, and I go, okay, and it's basically the same concept as Fox, and then they fast fall through, and like it's so tricky. It's like it's not tricky. It's not good. Even if it works sometimes, it just make fun of your opponent, you know, for letting it hit. Don't actually keep doing it.
Yeah. The escape option is significantly more important.
Exactly. Like being able to full hop. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's just obviously so much more important, because like when you fast fall and double down, they can even just see that you have no more jumps. It's like, oh, he's just coming straight at me.
Yeah, like he's gonna land right there. There's nothing else.
I discovered that very early on against like Captain Falcons would do it.
Like, yeah, Captain Falcons have a. The thing with Captain Falcon is he does it. First of all, he has a very tiny double jump. So he gets to do like a very fast double jump mix-up. And the other thing is that Captain Falcon has nothing else. He's very poor, okay? Like, he has no other options. So, but you're a spacey. You have millions in the bank. You don't want to be, you know, coming down with this fast fall past the platform with no double jump. It's foolish.
Yeah. Poor Falcon.
I don't feel sorry for him. He deserves it.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, this is good. You really gotta watch out. So this is Falco's, especially on these tiny stages. Falco is so strong when he's up here because he has these falling aerial options. You have a couple, like, you basically have two choices when Falco is up on a platform like this. You can either just try to hit him, like people will do dash dance full hop up air and just try to fish and hit him. And it's kind of good because Falco, like, he has to do something about it. Remember, it's that thing where you're like, man, it sure is, like, it's kind of scary that Falco is, like, up here, you know, like, if I go to the corner, he'll drop laser. And if I'm in center, he'll drop aerial, and it doesn't feel very good. So the answer a lot of times is just full hop up air on Falco, and now he has to deal with me. And it's very interesting as Falco playing against Foxes who know to do this versus Foxes who don't. Because when you're playing against a Fox who doesn't know that they can, you know, start attacking into you here, you're just like, haha, I'm on the platforms, and they're like, no, come on, man, like, and you're like, I guess I'll come down now, and you come down with a laser, and they're not ready, and it's just, oh, like, Falco's broken, and then you play against a Fox that's good at that, and you go up to the platform, and you're, like, peeking over the edge of the platform, and he's just already flying up, like, ready to murder you, and it's just, it's hard to describe how different it is, but, like, basically going up to this platform feels so much less comfortable when the fox is willing to basically say, hey, look, when you're here, I can hit that. Like, I can be aggressive here, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say not all the time. Sometimes it's okay to go to the corner here and chill, or go to the side platform and chill. But you really have to keep this in mind. Anytime the Falco goes here, what you really don't want to do is just kind of hang out, like, right here. Because you're going to get hit by something eventually. Like, either go way in the corner, on the platform, or try to get him. And I would recommend more for you right now, like, trying to get him.
Okay.
Okay, good full hop drill. This matchup is also, like, extremely reversal heavy, and remains that way, basically, forever. So, if you have the advantage against Falco, and you're kind of beating him up, and then suddenly you look and you're being shine comboed, I wouldn't worry about it too much. That's sort of, like, a separate issue from, like, the rest of the game, and it's more about, like, you need consistent punishes, and it's just sort of like that. Like, if you make even slight mistakes on your punishes, you will get, you know, CC shined or whatever, or slide off shined, and you'll just suddenly be in his combo. And the same thing happens for Falco. It's really easy for Falco to slightly mess up a combo, and Fox gets a shine or an up smash or whatever, or an up tilt. And so just sort of, like, accept the reversal nature of the matchup, and if you get reversaled, just say, like, okay, what could I do there, or what did I mess up that, like, ruined my consistency?
Yeah.
Because that was, like, something, like, right here, where you get this drill. I think it's right here. No, it's a little bit further back. Yeah, you get this drill, and then you go for the up tilt, and then he does this. I would recommend not really going for the up tilt until a bit of a higher percent than this. Maybe, like, 30 or something. Usually, when you drill... Well, I don't even know on this stage. Like, drill shine is usually drill shine is basically the best if you can get a tech chase out of it. On this stage, it's really tiny, and so I don't even know, actually. I think the up tilt was kind of fine. It was just a slight mistake, but just, like, if you make a super slight spacing or timing error, just expect to basically get reversal. That was a nice ledge dash, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks.
So this is what you don't want to be doing, is you don't want to end up in, like, this sort of vertical war with Falco. And I've seen you do this a bunch of times, where you, like, shield, and then you, like, full hop forward out of shield and do an aerial. That is not threatening to Falco at all. He will just move. And even more important than that, it doesn't force anything. You're not making Falco do any response. He has, you know, like, hundreds of ways to respond to this. And not all of them even punish you. Some of them punish you. Some of them he just moves. Some of them he just lasers. Some of them he goes to the platform. This doesn't make him deal with you. Whereas if you know, like, let's say you're right here, and I'm not even saying, you know, you should do this every time, but let's say you shield here, and you just wave dash turn around up tilt, or you wave dash JC shine right here. Those are options that Falco has to deal with. If he doesn't deal with those, he will get hit and die. And so it's just really important to, not get into these full hop wars, because they're not actually... Like, this is not making Falco really do anything. And so he just kind of jumps and hits you.
Well, could I full hop drill?
Yeah, no, this would be a perfect spot to full hop drill. And this is, like, why you full hop drill is because they're trying to be, like, cheeky here. And they're like, oh, you're in the corner? What if I just pressure? And it's like, that's not pressure. Okay, like, that's not good. Like, you can just full hop away and just do anything you want to Falco on this landing. So that's what you should do. And I think... Also, let's say you didn't want to full hop here, for whatever reason, and let's say you had a little bit more space. So this is sort of a different situation, but let's just say. It's very... So the thing is at lower level, like when you're first learning the game, most of your openings against Falco are from, like I said before, Falco doing a bad drill, and you grab him. Like, you just dash dance grab it. And so... this sort of pattern gets kind of embedded in our heads that, like, Falco is down airing. I can for sure just move out of the way and then grab it. And it's sort of a bad habit because you have all these other options, like you said, like the full hop drill that's really good, but you sort of are like, I can grab this, you know? And it's not always a good idea. Like, basically, when Falco does a down air, if you don't punish it, don't, like, feel like you missed an opportunity. Like, Falco, it's okay for Falco to, like, just do a random down air in place sometimes, and for you not to punish it. It's kind of like if you're playing against, like, a Marth as Fox, and you do, like, a fade back drill in neutral, like, you're just dash dancing, and you do... Sorry. You're dash dancing, and you do a sudden drill. Like, the Marth isn't gonna beat himself up over the fact that he didn't punish that drill. Like, most of the time, you can do that drill for free. And the same is true with Falco Fox, where if Falco just sort of does a drill randomly, don't feel like, man, I have to punish that drill. If I don't grab this drill, I'm, like, losing, or something like that. And I only say that because I used to feel like that. And I think it was from, like, an era, or, like, not an era, but, like, a skill tier, kind of, where, like, that's sort of a big deal. I would recommend... So I used to have a rule when I played Fox, which is never dash attack Falco. And sometimes it can be good, but it's such an overwhelmingly tiny percentage of the time, and it's usually only at super high percent, that for the purposes of learning the matchup, I would consider every single dash attack, with the exception of maybe dash attacking, you know, the ledge into his side B. With the exception of maybe that dash attack, every dash attack is basically a mistake. So just completely remove dash attack, you know, from your game plan, like entirely against Falco. Do not use it. Okay,
Makes
good.
sense.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of the frame data on Falco's down air, but basically, like 99.9% of the time, you can shine out of shield Falco's down air no matter what. So, like, if Falco does a frame-perfect down air on your shield, and, like, he's literally down airing, and it hits you the frame before he lands, and his down air is unstaled, then you can't shine out of shield. Otherwise, you can shrine out a shield to down air.
Okay.
So just know that, like, his down air is not safe on shrine out of shield. You can always find something. You can always find a shrine out of shield there.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up a KJH video because he is really, really good at this mashup. And we're just going to look at the things that I mentioned. So, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so here's a video of him 3-0ing West Balls, June of 2019. Not too much has changed since then. So, okay, so look, so the match starts, and you can already feel that Falco is being threatened. Like, West Balls is already sort of dashing away, KGH has center, there's the full hop drill, there's the dash dancing out of the range. So all of these things happened really fast. Let's see him moving in that specific range. He sort of calls out this with a grab, which is a bit more advanced, but it's fine. Okay. So notice that he's playing in this range. I'm going to put it at half speed. So notice that he's playing at this range. So ignore some of these. This is a lot, like, some stuff is just tech mistakes because it's in tournament. And so you can't just look and be like, oh, this is all, you know, perfect, you know? Like, it's not all, it's not theory, it's tournament, so stuff happens. But so look, so he's dash dancing at this range where Falco feels threatened to be throwing out walling aerials. Because if he just randomly runs into the corner here, Falco can be have major threats against him. So Falco is going to be sort of walling here. So KJH goes for some platform mix-ups, and then he just lets this up smash rip. And the reason why he gets away with this up smash is because Falco was so determined that he could, like, he was threatened. Like, you see that, like, he's like, oh, look, here I come, and then he gets away with this, and he maybe not necessarily should have gotten away with it, but he gets away with this because of the threat of him going into the corner was so strong. So he's doing the full hop drill, bit of a greedy play right there. See, that was bad. He got hit out of that for sure. Let me go back to regular speed. I just want to highlight some of these parts of the matchup. So there's the up smash again, calling out the laser. The thing with the up smash is I would say that I would recommend less up smashing until you get better. And then, like, at the matchup, and then more up smashes. Because basically, when you've nared someone in that position, like, 50 times, or, like, sorry, 50,000 times, when you've nared someone in that position, like, a ton of times, then you go, okay, there are some situations where I know for sure this nair will hit, or I think it's going to hit, and I think the up smash will be more effective. And that's why you'll see Leffen up smash a lot. But, like, so many people will watch Leffen and say, oh, okay, I just need to up smash sometimes. And that's, that's not the lesson to be taking. Like, there's a specific position where up smash is good, and it's a bit of, like, an optimization on doing, nairs there. So, this is a little bit, so this is nuanced. So I was telling you not to do the full hop up airs here. The reason why he does this full hop up air is because Falco is shielding already, and he does this full hop and he sees Falco is shielding. So he does this up air because he gets to push Falco away, and Falco's shine is tiny enough that he can't react out of shield, or he can't shine out of shield here. So this is like basically safe pressure. But he wasn't doing it to actually get a hit. It was purely for the pressure. Perfect example of why KJH is good at this matchup. Here we go. So, dash dancing. Falco has to respond to his threats. Like, look at this. So, Falco does this laser. He jumps over. West feels so threatened right here. So threatened. Completely. And so and notice this wave dash and up tilt he does here. Bam. Just in case Falco did an approaching laser, that was going to hit. If Falco did an approaching laser, he's stuffed in the corner. So watch, Falco's like, stay away from me, I've got lasers. And then he just finds his moment, decisively nairs in, right on, he didn't kind of, barely space the nair here. He went in for it. So he's waiting, he goes, And I'm pretty sure he read another laser, because West goes, laser, dash dance, shield, laser, dash dance, and he goes, I think there's another laser here, or something. And he goes for the nair, and he gets the double shine out of it, which nets him a kill. Should net him a kill. Whew. Okay. Okay, well, it netted him a kill. That was a bit of an awkward edge guard, but it's tournament, so it happens.
Yeah. The math worked out.
Okay, some odd decision making there. There's up smash on reaction to that. Okay, I more want to get into, a lot of this stuff is more like nuanced stuff. I want to get into more like the neutral here. So yeah, so he actually made a mistake here because he got trapped under the platform. But in this sort of situation, this is kind of where you're looking for like the full hop drill, or you're looking for him, going in here. So he kind of ends up in this awkward spot under the platform, and he does a bad back air, so he dies for it. So I just want to find some more examples of that movement in neutral. West doing his classic platform camping. Iconic. This is sort of a thing. This is sort of like a minor detail to mention, but basically when you have Falco in the corner of a small stage like Yoshi's, it works on all stages, but especially Yoshi's, you can just kind of back air over and over, and it's really nasty pressure for him. Like back air shine. Hax does this a lot. It's really nasty pressure to just kind of back air over and over, because he doesn't have a lot of options to deal with.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's an example of how to react to the falling down air. So we see Wes, and he's doing all these falling down airs. Classic double jump fast fall through aerial. And of course he gets punished for it, because I keep telling people to stop doing that. It's a little bit better with Falco here, but it's still not very good. Like, it's still, you have no options, So what he does is, instead of trying to instantly punish the down air, this is the thing I was talking about, where you wait.
He takes advantage.
And he just sees this, and he's like, well, I might not get a perfect, punish on this, but I'm like right on top of Falco, and Falco is terrified, so I'm going to get some pressure, and he capitalizes on that pressure. And actually, if you think about it, this double jump fast fall through the platform down air lost West the stock here. This indirectly lost him the stock because this is the sequence that led to this, which killed him.
Yeah.
And so it's not that you need to directly punish these down airs with a grab. A lot of people feel the need of like, I gotta grab this. Like, look, it's so bad. He double jumped and he fast fell. I know right where he's gonna land, and they try to grab it, and then Falco, you know, shines them anyway.
Yeah. Shines.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's kind of like, that's why a lot of times, sometimes if you're really certain and they have a really bad down air commitment, it's fine to grab. But if you're really not sure, it's totally fine to just sort of go for this pressure on their landing, and a lot of times you'll still get an opening out of it. Okay? Sort of letting his invincibility run out. Not my favorite drill. This is why I tell people don't like full hop in with an attack like this, because it'll just lose a lot of times. I think sticking to the plan is a little bit better.
Yeah.
There's that up smash in the center again. Maybe not the best choice now that, you know, it's not working. Okay, a little bit of scuffles. Looking for more of like the actual organized play here. Aha. So here we have another situation where he's threatening aggression. So Wes double jumps out of the way to avoid the possible aggression. He does this double jump downer again. It's so bad. Like, why do you do this? So KJ's, but you know the thing is like I can say all day that this is bad, but like every Falco you're gonna play, like 99% of them will do stuff like this, you know? And so you want to know how to beat it more so than just being like, that's bad. And like that's the worst feeling when someone does this option and you're like, that is a bad option right there, and they're like, oh, I've won the last 5 games, it can't be that bad, you know? That's like the worst feeling. So it's really good to know how to punish, you know, bad options and deal with it. So so what he's doing right here is, so he sees the bad down air, and remember, what do we want to do after Falco does a bad down air? If we can't pressure it, or sorry, if we can't directly punish it, we go for the pressure, right? And so what he does here, this full hop over, and this is why you want to full hop a little bit closer to Falco, because he has so many more threats here, because he can full hop over, drop through the platform. He can full hop and then just go to the top plat. You know, he has, and you're kind of like more on top of Falco, whereas like when he jumps all the way across, you don't have as many options to hit him. So his idea with this up air is that he thinks Wes is probably going to either down air in place or up tilt in place after his down air, or maybe even spot dodge, and then this up air will hit. And that was the idea. This up air is pressuring the down air landing. That is pressure. So he does this, he gets this back air wall, and edge guard. Okay, we have time to go over one more match, I think. So, okay, so we're here. Gets the shine out of shield. So here, he has this little head thing. So look, so he's like, so he gets here, and he's like, okay, this is for sure going to be the dumbest down air in history. I can definitely grab it this time. And he gets hit anyway, and he's like, ah, fine. He has the little head twitch of like, ah, fine. Like, I thought I could grab it this time. And this will happen a lot if you try to grab it, and that's why I think, you know, especially like where you're at, like I would say, rather than trying to grab it often, try to practice going for the pressure on it. Just to avoid that until you're sort of, you know, better at it. Okay, there's the raw grab. So notice that, like, how much of this game is, you know, Wes approaching. And, you know, I'm not sure Wes would approach anyway, but he's not approaching because he's being pressured by Kalindi's Fox here. So look, he's like, whoa, I gotta keep Fox out. I have to up tilt. I have to down air wall. You know, these situations. Spot dot. Back air wall. Wait a second, and then maybe laser. Okay, and then he gets hit out of the laser. So look, lasering, he has to wall. Here's this dash dance grab. So look at this. He's staying at this range. He's threatening approaches, but he's not getting so close that Falco can just, you know, instantly down air him. He's trying to stay barely out of the range, threaten some approaches, threaten some retreats. Then eventually, you know, there were maybe opportunities in here where he could have thrown out a move if he was, you know, tasked or had a read. But he doesn't. It's okay to just keep playing that. And then he sees this, and it's like, there it is. And then he gets this free grab opening. And then, you know, capitalization. And he probably gets the kill out of this. Yeah. So he just waited for that opportunity where Falco was scared and threw out a wall. And he didn't try to take advantage of every wall that Falco did. He just waited for a wall that he could correctly punish, and then he hit it. So here's another example of the thing I was talking about. Is like, this is a bit more advanced because he takes the laser and double jumps out of it, but this is essentially the full hop, you know? Like, this is basically the full hop drill, where, like, if you're here, and let's say he was just on the ground when Falco lasered him, then, you know, full hop, and then Falco throws out a move, and then you get this drill. And that's sort of like the value of the full hop drill. And this is why the up air tech chase is so important, is because, you know, if you got a drill shine at 0 and Falco's at 10% and he landed here, that would probably just be the end of it. And you'd be like, okay, what do I do now? But with KJH, he gets this, he gets the up air out of it, he gets this up smash, he potentially got another up air, he's pressuring on the plat, then he sees Falco in the corner, he goes, okay, you're going to have to respond to my aggressive pressure in the corner. Falco does not respond to it quickly enough and just gets hit. And that's why you want to do things with Fox that are like, they're forcing, you know? Like, hey, if you don't defend against this Nair right now, it's going to hit you and it's going to kill you. And Fox's speed gives him the ability to do those types of threats. And then he goes for a crazy shine because he's like, I'm just going to win this set. This is easy. Okay, so like, new stock. And so once again, he's not trying to directly punish the down air. He's waiting for the down air to end, and then he goes for a full hop drill to pressure Falco's option upon landing. And he loses the mix-up, but this is okay. If you're playing solid, it's okay to lose the mix-up. Here's the full hop drill. Again, right here. He goes, what if Falco overcommits here? I would get this full hop drill. And that's what you want. That's why the full hop drill is so good, is because you're saying, Falco, you better not be overcommitting here, you know? You better not be. Wow, stadium transformations. What a throwback.
Wow.
And here's sort of that up air situation. This is kind of the same thing as full hop drill, but he's just... I wouldn't recommend using this up air as something to, like, copy, but it was just sort of another situation where he's full hopping... He was basically attempting to full hop directly over Falco to get this sort of, you know, that timing mix-up and pressure Falco into doing a defensive option here.
Yeah.
So he gets this. Going for the 4 stock. There's the full hop drill. So notice that he does this same, like, drift out of shield aerial that you do, but you were doing it kind of like from here. You know, and you don't want Falco to have to move into it. He's doing this to beat... Because he's already right on top of Falco, and so this is basically like... You know, you're expecting Falco to maybe throw out a move to protect himself from you. And I think West tries to up tilt there, and he gets hit for it. Here's this spacing stuff. Watch the spacing. 0.5. This is the spacing. Watch this. Right at this nasty range. This nasty range right here. Where Falco has to deal with these threats. He has to. If he doesn't, he's just going to get hit. Has to deal with these threats. There's potential threats. He's sort of getting lucky in dodging them, but there are threats. And he sort of gets hit by, you know, the walling here. But I wanted you to see that spacing. That's the spacing you want to be playing at. Once again, here we go. This is the perfect example. Falco does this down air. He does this double jump, high down air. Do you want to risk yourself and go for grabbing it? No. What you want? Full hop over, punishes the defensive landing option with the drill. This is like literally like picture perfect of way of how to punish this. See Falco landing, punish on the landing rather than the down air. Then you get this big combo. Look at that. And suddenly, you know, that one bad down air that Falco did is turning into a whole bad stock.
Yeah.
There's that spacing. Here's the spacing again. Same thing. Look at this. Threatening. Look at West spamming short hop back air here. Falco almost he doesn't have to do this, but this is an option that Falco kind of, you know, and then he waits for the one that looks a little bad, and he goes, I can grab that, and he gets the grab out of it. And that's what you want to do. You want Falco to be on the back foot. Falco's defending against Fox. Then he looks for this opportunity, gets the nair in right here. Bam. He goes, okay, yeah, you didn't deal with the nair correctly. And then he gets this because he always hits the stupid backer. He's really good at hitting that backer. Okay, So that's about an hour. But
Okay.
I think we went over some pretty good fundamentals in the matchup.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Um, I would. I'm wondering, like, as I play like a lot of matchups, because Fox is the better character, has a lot of advantages. It really feels like this or like this attack, like threaten to like, um, threaten your attacks, like when you control a certain space, and then when they come at you, you defend with your speed.
Uh-huh.
Um, like
So wait, so yeah, so you're saying that like you're noticing like a commonality between like a lot of matchups as Fox?
yeah,
Yeah. So that is just there are not only are there commonalities with the other Fox matchups, it's sort of across the board. When you're playing the character who has faster movement, a lot of times you have the ability to play like that. And because Fox is faster than almost every character, that's what he can do. The only character that he can't totally play like that against is Falcon. And because Falcon is faster.
Falcon is faster, and then you're focusing a lot more on like defensive or like
You,
your defensive things happen to be really strong also in that matchup.
mm-hmm. Yes, you're more focused on like some walls, or like Leffen will go for, like up tilts, stuff like that. You have to be a lot more focused on that because he's the one who's dashing in, going, here I come, because if you go for him, he can just move out of the way. But Fox has that speed advantage over almost every other character in the game, and so that's what you want to be abusing. Whenever you're playing Fox, unless you're playing against Captain Falcon, you should be thinking, how can I abuse the speed of my character in this matchup?
Yeah, it
Because
feels
that's... Yeah, go
like
for it.
Puff is a great example where it's like weird because like Puff can outrun you in the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like when she gets to the ground, it feels like you're playing a slow character again, where it's like, oh, I actually have like terribly advantageous mix-ups attacking you once you hit the ground,
Exactly.
and once you try to come to me on the ground, it's not so good either.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, when you're playing against Puff, when she's in the air, you'll notice top players will sort of wait around and sort of wall more. And then as
Yeah,
soon as Puff gets closer to the ground, then they're doing these dash-in mix-ups and the nair mix-ups and stuff like that.
yeah,
Because when you're the faster character, you get away with that. So anyway, yeah, I would say focus on, first of all, I want you to practice up throw, up air tech chase on platforms. That needs to be strong if you're ever going to beat any Falco. So that is like a major, major point. Always try to keep the Falco on the back foot, and like once you get them on the back foot, look for their defensive options, and then look for vulnerabilities in their like walling options, basically.
uh-huh.
Whether it's lasers or aerials or up tilts or whatever. Then don't try to directly punish down airs. Try to indirectly punish them by pressuring the landing.
Yeah.
Full hop drill is really, really good. And making sure to get your nair like all the way in instead of like sort of keeping it too short. You want to get the nair all the way in there on Falco. And yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good overview. So I hope that helps you out. And
Yeah, I think it will.
And all right, man. I hope you have a good day. It was nice talking.
Nice talking. Bye
All right.
bye.
See you later.